This is another problem from Module 5, writing an equation and drawing its graph to model a real-world situation. Owners of a recreation area are filling a small pond with water. They're adding water at a rate of 35 liters per minute. There are 600 liters in the pond to start. Let W represent the amount of water in the pond in liters, and T represent the number of minutes that water has been added. Write an equation relating W to T and then graph your equation using the axes below. So our graph is located below. We'll get to that in just a minute. First thing we'd like to do is write our equation. Now we're told that there's 600 liters in the pond to start. This does not change no matter how many liters of water we add per minute. We start out with 600. We're never going to start out with a number other than the 600 according to the problem that was given us. Now, what does change is this rate here, 35 liters per minute. After 1 minute, there's a different amount. After 2 minutes, there's a different amount. And after 3 minutes and so on, there are different amounts. So we're going to write W. W is representative of the amount of water in the pond equals. Now, once again, we said the 600 is not changing, so let's put the 600 here on the right. The rate T goes with the 35 liters per minute, so we're going to multiply 35 times T. So what this represents here is what we start with, the 600, and the constant change that we are having, the 35T plus 600. So what we're going to do is actually come up with a few values to see if this makes sense. So let's come up with first, of course, the amount of water in the pond at time 0. And we already know what this should be because we started with 600, so let's see if that makes sense. So let's do 35 times 0 plus 600. And of course, 35 times 0 becomes 0. So our first value is 600. All right, let's do the amount of water in the pond after 1 minute. And we would simply plug in 1 for T, so 35 times 1 plus 600, and we get 635 liters. So each minute, the amount of water in the pond is going to be going up 35 liters. All right, let's do the amount after 2 minutes. So that would be 35 times 2 plus 600. And 35 times 2 is 70. 70 plus 600 is 670. All right, and we can keep this up. So we're actually going to jump to the end value of the graph, which is at 10. So we're going to do W of 10. It's a linear equation, so it keeps going up by the same amount. And we're going to do 35 times 10 plus 600. 35 times 10 is 350. 350 plus 600 is 950. All right, and what this does is it gives us a few points here to work with. So what I'm going to do is take the first point that we had, which would be 0, comma 600, because we know after 0 minutes there were 600 liters in the pond. And then I'm going to take the amount after 10 minutes, so that would be 10, comma 950. Going to graph these 2 points. So 0, comma 600, I wouldn't go right or left, I would just go up to the 600 mark. The y-axis in this case represents W, that's the amount of liters in the pond. The x-axis represents the t, time in minutes. All right, so next up we're going to graph 10 comma 950. So we go 10 spaces to the right and we go up to 950. 950 is going to be right in the middle of 900 and 1000. So there is our 10 comma 950, and what we're going to do is draw a line between those 2 points. And there we have the graph of the equation, W equals 35T plus 600. And we know that when we started out with 600 liters in the pond, and after 10 minutes, there were 950 liters in the pond.